Welcome to the Send More Offers Real Estate Show with Brandon Barnes, showing you how to do wholesaling deals consistently without having to go on seller appointments. Learn the key tips and strategies that Brandon's students use to find deeply discounted properties that are pennies on the dollar, all while avoiding wear and tear on their vehicle, body, and freedom. Whether you're looking for your first deal or your next deal, it's time to send more offers with your host, Brandon Barnes.
Hey, Trevor, how's it going? How are you doing today?
Brandon, dude, I'm doing amazing, dude, and I appreciate the opportunity to hop on here with you. I know the times we get to connect over the years is always a joy, man. So pumped
sure. I'm super excited, of course, to have you on the show. Of course, I've known of you, from day one, and then we had some opportunities to meet along the years, and it's always been a bunch of great information. And always just wanting to help out, every investor in the room, because typically in like masterminds and mentorships, and everybody, knows the Carrot website as the go-to website for real estate investors, wholesalers, and real estate agents. I know you guys are doing amazing things with the real estate agent websites as well. So we're going to get into all of that good stuff. But just to start and talk about the impactfulness of having a strong website for your real estate investing business. What are you seeing right now? Would you say that everybody needs to have a website? Does that go without saying, or am I wrong there?
It's such a good question. And this is a question people have been asking for years, right? When we started 8 years ago, they were asking the same question. And the big thing with me and with Carrot, I'm always a data guy. And so I'm going to rarely give my opinions if they're not backed by data, because data always is going to tell the truth in this case, right? And so one of the biggest things that we've seen accelerate over the past 5 years, Brandon, is we know, you can probably relate, my grandma now is online. She's on Facebook oftentimes. She does Google searches from her phone. 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. It was pretty much the demographic sub 60 who are online most. Now, your 60 plus demographic is all over Facebook. They're the largest growing segment there. They're using the internet in droves and they're able to do things. Now, when you start to think about who are oftentimes the sellers of houses or motivated sellers, well, oftentimes it's that 45 plus demographic, right? It's usually not your 22-year-old. So when we're looking at online now, the only time in history for real estate investors, that demographic is online fully now. Okay, they're using it. And so when we look at where we are in this market today, because of that, and also because of the advancement with just in the internet in general, we're in the age of credibility. And so when you're going on Amazon and you're looking to buy a product, like everyone in this call can probably relate to this, you're going to never buy a product that has no reviews on it, right? You're going to sift through the products. You're even going to buy the product that has some bad reviews, but it's a 4.2 out of 5, but you at least know what you're getting because of credibility, because there's transparency with what I'm buying. Well, guys, the same thing is happening with investors for your sellers and your buyers. Is if you are doing cold calling, or you're doing direct mail, or you're doing driving for dollars or text message marketing, what happens is your sellers are thinking of this. They're going, is this company legit, right? Do I want to work with them? Are they going to actually fulfill on their promises? They're going to pull up their cell phone. They're going to Google search whatever is identifiable about your company. We were just talking with a customer the other day. He's a high-level investor, does a lot of cold calling. Cold calling drives his business primarily, okay? And what a lot of people think is, I'm getting my business from cold calling, so I don't need a website, right? I talk to people, I set up a meeting, I go close the deal, which is true. You can make all that happen. But the question I always ask is, how many deals are you losing? Because when the person starts to research you, they can't find anything about you online. And their alerts start to go up to go, okay, real businesses have a website. Right. Real businesses have credibility online. I'm never going to go to a restaurant that doesn't have Yelp reviews. And they start to think the same thing with investors. So that's the question. If you're doing only offline marketing and successful with it, is how many deals are you losing because you don't have not just a website, but because you don't have a strong, credible profile online, which your website drives. I call it your authority hub or your credibility hub. Your website should be the hub of all of your online credibility. We can dive into details on that, man. But no, you don't need a website to close deals. But my question is, how many deals are you losing without having an effective website every month?
I love that. And great knowledge and information. You're already dropping gems. I did not know that over 60 market, that demographic was the largest growing segment for folks online. So very, very interesting. And I agree with you. The absolute reason why in the beginning I got a website were just solely for the reviews, right? Credibility package, of course, and, want people to go there and check out the website, but it was for a place for me to show myself at a closing or myself with the seller at their property and be able to point people that I speak to the website so they can see folks that are actually happy closing deals. So super, super important. Outside of that, right, you mentioned a profile. Can you talk to the folks? Because I've learned this as of recently, past few years, that it's important to have your data matching on a bunch of different spaces, right? Whether that's Google Maps, etc. What are some of those places? How can somebody make sure, all right, hey, I got the website. I need to have the rest of the profile built out. Where would you say that folks should go to look at what that looks like?
Yeah, so I'm going to verbalize this best I can, and I'll even show a couple visuals for those of you who are going to catch the snippets on social, YouTube. So I want you guys to think about your websites once again as a hub. Okay, what a lot of people look at is they'll look at a landing page as their, I've got a website, it's this landing page, it comes from Google PPC. Guys, that is costing you leads and deals every single week. Okay. The reason we want it to be a hub, and I'll walk you through what the hub looks like and then how the citations work, which is what you're mentioning.
Okay.
Is the hub is essentially made up of 3 parts. Okay. An effective website that is a hub is made up of 3 parts. It's what I call your core conversion pages first. Okay. And dude, if it's cool, I'm actually going to do a screen share here. And like I said, I'll verbalize it so everyone can know what the heck I'm saying, but also there's a video version that Brandon will have up in some places. Okay. So I'm going to start with this. This is literally just sharing the Google Analytics of our clients' websites across, over 7,000 clients, over 10,000 websites. If you were to search sell my house fast, insert any city in the country or up into Canada, you're probably going to find between 3 and 8 Carrot sites controlling page 1 in Google in every market, the top 225 markets. If you look at even custom websites, like Carrot websites have more top 3 rankings for motivated house seller phrases than all other website types combined, more than custom WordPress sites, more than any of our competitors, all that. Okay. So when I show you this data, it's not a little small segment of data. It's a wide swath of data across a lot of markets. Okay. So I'm going to show you this, then we'll go back to your question. And we'll even talk about some dynamics that are happening in the market right now and what we need to do marketing wise to stand out. So the majority of the leads themselves come through organic search in our system, right? That's people going to the internet, typing up Google searches and landing there. Okay. That's over 4 million people, 4.3 million people did this in the past year or so, just right over a year through our system. Okay. Paid search is right behind that. Direct is actually the number 1 by volume, but it converts really low. What is direct? Well, direct is someone literally typing the URL of a website into the browser. They know what it is. Maybe it was included on a direct mail piece or something else. Okay. They physically went to the internet and typed in a URL in the browser. It doesn't convert as well. It's about 1.5% of all those visitors turn into an opt-in lead. That doesn't include phone call leads. But about 3.6% of all organic search visitors, when they land on a Carrot site in aggregate, doesn't matter what page they land on, the contact page, a blog post, this is just any person that landed on any page on any of our clients' websites. Okay. So your actual conversion rate for paid traffic is probably going to be 15 to 20%. Okay. But this is the aggregate. It's 3.6%. So that's over double the conversion rate on our organic search. Now, to lead to your question, why is it that our clients are ranking really high in organic search? Well, part of it's the citation profile you mentioned. So when you launch a website, and I'll show you guys the core conversion pages and how this is important. When you launch a site, in order to get it ranked high in Google, there's a few factors. I need to, first of all, have good, robust content that's valuable and unique, right? So if you're a Carrot client out there, you need to take our framework and just kind of rewrite that content so it's yours, but take our framework because it's going to guide you on the path to know how to write the content effectively for search engines and for conversion. Okay. But you need to rewrite it so it's unique and robust. The next thing is we need to let Google know that we're a trustworthy website. And one of the ways to do that is what's called backlinks and citations. A backlink is just another website that's trusted that links back to my own. And Google almost looks at it like a vote. Okay. So if I were to look at this site here as an example, this is one of our clients out of Louisville, Kentucky. He's ranking really, really well for a lot of phrases in Louisville. And the thing what I'm showing here is ranking number 1, number 2, number 3 for all the top phrases. What's that?
Is that Bo Hollis?
That's Bo Hollis, man.
Shout out to Bo Hollis. That's my guy.
Yep. And we might even be able to do a deal breakdown at the end of this call, because I know that's stuff you normally do. Because Bo, I'm involved in many of Bo's deals. And Bo texted me this a couple weekends ago. And let me find it here. We have some deals we can probably analyze in here, but he locked down 2 SEO deals 2 weekends ago from this method we're teaching. High margin, well over 100,000 in profits between the two. Okay. So when you look at this and you go, well, why is he ranking well? He has a robust site that's optimized to load fast with care. He has good content on there. We can show some of it here in a bit. But then he's built his citations. That's your Yellow Pages. That's your Google My Business. That's even Facebook's citation on there. All the citation is a business listing. It's basically sites out there that allow you as a business to put your company name on there. And I'll pull up a few. So if I were to type like Simply Sold Reviews, this is Bo's website, okay? So Simply Sold, this may or may not be Bo's actual company here. That one's in Orlando, Florida, but Better Business Bureau is a citation. If I were to click through on this and look at it, it's going to have the name of the company. It's going to have the address of the company. And it's going to have the phone number of the company. It's going to have a link to the website. It's called NAP. Name, address, phone number, and then you've got the website part. Okay, so what you were mentioning is when you go set up these things, they all need to be identical across all of your citations, across all those business listings. So if you've got a Better Business Bureau, if you've got a Facebook page that has it on it, and if you've got, other things up there, then you're going to want to make sure that the NAP, name, address, phone number, and website are exactly the same. If you don't, then what happens is you can actually have your ranking start to decrease.
And so there's this company, the profile kind of in whole, right? And so I'm assuming that, I know you guys have services that do, additional levels of marketing, can kind of help with some of this. Is this something though that some listener that does not have this built out, can they go and do some of these citations?
100%. So there's services that you guys can go purchase, and they're pretty affordable. If you don't want to do it, it's probably 15 to 20 minutes per citation, which means you've got to go find all the websites that you're able to list your website on, your business on. And the local ones are good. So you can literally go to Google and type up something like, if I'm in Dallas, I might type up Dallas business listing websites, or Dallas business directory, or Dallas online business directory, or something like that. Okay, so Dallas online directory. And start to find ones that look legit and submit your website on them. Okay. There's this one here, dallas.com. I'd submit my website on them, or there's other ones as well that you guys can find. But the national ones are like your Yelps, your Yellow Pages, your Better Business Bureau, your Facebook, your Google My Business. The very first one that I would do, y'all, is your Google My Business. So I'm going to verbalize this, but here's one of our clients. We have the top home buyer in Baltimore. They moved over to Carrot from Custom Site a number of years ago for performance. They had an amazing custom site. They moved over because this performs better for them. So when you look at this, when you type in a brand of a company, this is one of their brands. The brand that we work on is their actual direct to seller brand. This is their retail brand, and this is their property listing brand. But over on the right side of a Google search, what you're going to see if you set up your Better Business Bureau, your Google My Business profile, is you're going to see a listing for you. It's going to have some pictures. It's going to have your company name. It's going to have your reviews. It's going to have your address, your phone number, all those types of things. Start there. And everybody can start there. Like Google how to optimize a Google My Business profile. You'll probably find all kinds of great information, and start there, y'all, and start driving reviews there. That's where I would start.
Love it. And so when we're talking about evergreen marketing, right? Leads coming in, without just you going out and picking up the phone and making calls, what are some of the other ways that you can support leads coming in? Because, I say that with the caveat of, look, Carrot is a great site that's already, built for the real estate investor, and it's built to attract and to give that credibility. But, as far as just, having this generate leads through, either search engine optimization or non-paid traffic, what are some of the other ways that you can support the Carrot site to generate more leads? You already mentioned one, rewriting some content, making sure that your profile is built out. Is there anything else?
Yep. Yeah. So let me share. I'm going to go back to screen share here, because I think I'm going to get a little tactical with y'all. And once again, for those listening to the podcast version, I'm going to verbalize it in as much detail as I can. So This right here is a website, faircashoffer.com. It's Alex Youngblood, who owns Wholesaling Houses full-time Facebook group, like the largest Facebook group on Facebook for wholesaling houses. And he moved over from a custom site a number of years ago. And the first thing I want you guys to do to help with not just ranking well in Google and getting leads from Google organically, but also just in general to make all of your traffic convert into a lead at a higher rate. And here's the key, Brandon. A lot of people don't realize that the way you have your website set up and the content you have on it in the right order actually dictates your lead to deal conversion ratio. Okay. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to share this one here. This is actually Carter Steff. He's the largest home buyer in Oklahoma City. Same thing, moved over from a custom site, $10,000 custom site. The site was getting him leads before. But what he didn't realize is how many leads and deals he was losing because it was under optimized. Okay. It was set up by a really good web developer, looked pretty, and it had a lot of the elements that you'll see here, but there were some key things missing based off because we really drive data and testing. And so Carter's a big TV and radio guy. Okay. So the first thing I always want to have people do with the website, Brandon, is I want it to amplify your offline marketing first. Whatever offline marketing you're doing, radio, TV, direct mail, cold calling, the number one mission should be to amplify your offline marketing first. So just like what I was mentioning before, if someone gets your marketing, they're going to Google search you. Is your website putting up the right stuff in the right order? And is it easy to use on mobile where it's going to streamline that process to get them as a lead? But number two, to get them to convert and do a deal. So when Carter joined Carrot and he sent an email after, about 4 months after I reached out, I'm like, dude, how are things going? The biggest lift for him, yes, he did get more leads. Okay. He didn't focus on any SEO. He didn't drive any paid traffic. All he was doing was I'm already doing radio and TV, and the existing traffic he was already getting just started performing better. Okay. The only thing that changed was switching to Carrot and switching the order and the type of content we put on there and the structure with our website. He said he started getting an extra $20,000 a month in new revenue just after the switch, just because his lead to deal close ratio went up. Rather, before he was closing 1 in 7, 1 in 8. After making the switch from his radio TV traffic, he was closing 1 in 3. Okay. So he's able to almost, more than double in that case, his conversion ratio of that, and added $200,000 a year in extra income.
Oh my God.
The main thing that he did was build what we call the core conversion pages. And so core conversion pages are this: when someone lands here, if someone's bopping around here on your homepage, we want to start to build up the most credibility possible for them. Okay. So on this one here, I'm going to verbalize it. For those of you, go find the video snippets on Brandon's YouTube and IG. When you land here, there should be localized photos. It should be very easy and simple to learn who your company is. The number 2 most visited web page on all of our clients' sites across the board is always the about page. It's either number 2 or number 3. It's because they land in the homepage or your location page, and then they go, hey, it seems like they have a service that can help me. Are they legit though? Are they going to follow through? Right. And so have a good about page and, get in your credibility elements. On this site, they've got their Better Business Bureau icon, their Google reviews icon. He does TV commercials. So there's the whole as seen on TV. And then there's a good bio. Here's who I am. Here's a picture of me. I'm a real human being, right? I'm not an axe murderer. I'm going to help you out. And then I'll give a couple other things. As you go down, we're finding more and more, Brandon, that video, that is one of those elements that helps to increase your lead to deal ratio. Because if people look and see that here's the real person, there's a trust factor when people see video that they don't get when it's just a static image. And especially if they're on a website that doesn't have a picture of the people who actually own the business, your conversion ratio on lead to deal is going to go down way, way big time. Okay. Wow. So Brandon, Alex has a good video here, good credibility, good testimonials all over the website. So bring in some of your Google reviews, screenshot those, bring them over, and make it so people can see that you've been in business for a while if you have. Or if you're brand new, let people know about the service you have and bring in as much of your credibility as possible. So this is key right here. Number one, you amplify your paid marketing with a great layout, high converting system that is going to be building in credibility. The next one, I'm going to show you some data here now, Brandon. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at what do I do next, the very next thing that I do is I'll determine if that person has a budget to do marketing, right? If they flat out have no budget and their whole budget is like the $100 a month from Carrot and that's their online credibility, and you win back one deal every 3 years, that's going to pay for your Carrot for 10 years plus. Okay. That's our aim. You win back one deal, that's going to pay for Carrot for 10 years. All right. And so What we do next is if you have zero budget, then you're going to work on the SEO, just follow our training or whatever it is and get your ranking higher. And then honestly, man, I'm going to suggest going out there and like people should do driving for dollars. They should knock on doors. They should do whatever the heck they need to do to get that first deal done. They can go to Craigslist. And one thing that we've actually been guiding people on is Craigslist is still working. You have to work it a little bit, but I would go to Craigslist.
Go to Craigslist. What do you mean by that? Go to Craigslist and use what?
Yeah, dude. So let's say you're in Richmond, Virginia. Okay. And this has nothing to do with the website other than the website helps you to have more credibility when you reach out to people. So if you have zero budget and this is still working, now once again, I wouldn't scale a business doing this, but if I need to get my first 1, 2, 3, 4 deals using the internet, this is one way that can happen. I go to Richmond, Virginia. I go to housing. Okay. And so I would go to the section where it's, selling the houses basically. So real estate for sale. Then you're going to find the section where it's for sale by owner and or over here on the left side of the box or up the top. I'm going to type up something that shows motivation, and we're going to find more and more motivated properties hitting Craigslist. I might type up something like fixer upper. Okay. You can type the word fixer in any of these properties that have motivated type of words. Literally type the word motivated, type the word fixer, type the word fire or fire damage or flood or divorce or any of those phrases. And if I had no budget, dude, I'd spend 30 to 45 minutes every single day clicking all of these. And I would create a little template in my Gmail. I'd hit reply here. Up pops a little option to send an email from Gmail. And I go hit my reply deal right there. I'm going to hit Gmail. Bam, up pops my Gmail. An email is going to come here and you can save replies in Gmail. Just have a saved reply that you put in there to send out. And it's pretty much going to be, hey, I found your property here on Craigslist. I'm looking to acquire property in that area. Are you the owner of the property? You want to find out, are they the agent or are you the owner? If they reply back as the owner, make an offer. So like make 3, 4, 5, 10 offers a day. Now you do that over the next 2 to 2 months, you will get a property. You'll get a property under contract.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolute jam. And I haven't heard the Craigslist method in forever. Like that used to be where we would just kind of try out our script and kind of get comfortable early on. But using it to find off-market deals is a major gem for the person that's out there that's really trying to get this thing rolling. And I love that you're talking about what you can do to amplify your online presence because, shameless plug. Look, I've had a Carrot site since 2016, the first year that I joined into this real estate market, into this business. And so, I love it. And everything that you talked about has been super helpful. I do have a few follow-up questions to some of these. Rewriting content. Like I've heard that's important. I've heard that before. And you guys have content packages where you can pay to add that on and you get additional blog posts to add to the website. With the uprise and AI, right? Artificial and ChatGPT coming, could you rewrite the content using ChatGPT? Or is there something that's going to say, hey, this is written by AI. It's not going to be as effective?
Dude, I'm going to pull something up here. We may need to do a follow-up session, man. Like this would be fun. So I'm going to pull up my screen again. And the answer is yes. So Google, one question people ask is Google going to penalize you if you have AI content, right? Well, Google has its own AI content generator tool in beta right now. And a lot of people don't realize that when you literally read the beta instructions, it says, use this to create content for your website. Like Google made it. Now it gives you criteria though, right? It says, use this to come up with ideas, use this to help to build the structure of your article, use this to help refine it. But in general, don't want you clicking a button and having the whole thing created by AI with no human touch on it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Here's a couple things that can be done with AI. I'll give people a couple prompts that you can use with Carrot. You can use with all that stuff. Okay. So on the Carrot side of things, once again, the majority of the leads through our system are from Google Organic, like I showed here. The number 2 percentage of leads is from paid search. So we can talk paid search and where the trends are there here in a second. Because right now I'm big on paid search. Big time. I was working with a client, Marco Padilla out of Florida. He's in our Epic program, which is the highest level program. And he was going to pull back his ad spend at the end of February because January and February is a challenging first 2 months for the year for a lot of wholesalers and flippers. And so he was going to pull back his ad spend because his ROI wasn't as good. I'm seeing the data, which I'm going to do a little open loop for you guys. We'll pull back and tell you what data it is and what you should do with that in your marketing. I gave him this advice. I said, this is why you need to increase your ad spend in your market. He came back 30 days later on our Epic mastermind call. He's like, dude, 10 deals under contract in the last 30 days. I go, bam. And he said, after the call, I went and increased my ad spend based on what you had said. 10 deals came back. So on the AI side of things, I'm going to dive into the back end of this site. I'm going to verbalize things well. So the reason that we focus on organic and someone going to Google and finding your site so high is because they're the most motivated leads. It's someone who's actively searching to sell their property. And those leads turn about 1 in 5 to 1 in 15 of those SEO search engine optimized leads turn into a deal. Okay, about 1 in 50 to 1 in 60 radio, TV ads leads turn into a deal. 1 in 40 to 1 in 50, maybe 1 in 40 to 1 in 60 direct mail leads turn into a deal. 1 in 15 to 1 in 30 Facebook seller leads turns into a deal. 1 in 10 to 1 in 20, maybe now 25 Google PPC leads turn into a deal. And then like so 1 in 5 to 1 in 15 SEO leads turns into a deal. So that's why we focus on that. The lead quality is so much higher and your average profit per deal is higher. So we have a content system in here, which we were the first ones in all of real estate to have automated content systems. And that system has worked insanely effectively. Yeah. But there were some updates last year that came out that Google had. They had the May core update, which is something that they're going after something called EAT, expertise, authority, and trust. And then they had their helpful content update at the end of August. And some of our customers, it was kind of a split. Some of our customers gained a ton of rankings because they were doing things correctly, like Bo. Bo gained a ton of rankings. He has good videos on the site, robust content. It was unique. He was using blogs the effective way, the right way. And then we had people lose their rankings because they were just literally hitting our automated blog system and just hit and push scheduling 2, 3, 4 a week, and they weren't editing them. And Google said, we don't like that because it's not helpful to the client. That's not helpful to the website visitor to have 17 different blogs on foreclosure when you should probably have 1 or 2, like one amazing one, then 2 or 3 that support that one. Nice. And so what we're working on right now, Brandon, is creating more of what we call a topic cluster system to help you build the right topic clusters so Google's not confused on which article on foreclosure or probate or whatever is the right one to rank high. So one thing that you guys can do, if let's say you want to write a really good topic cluster or expert article, you can start with the Carrot site. And so let's go in here to foreclosure. And I'm just clicking through the Carrot interface for those of you that are working, that are listening to this verbally. And so I'm just going to grab this article, 3 reasons why you may want to sell your house fast and blah, 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 right? So this one particularly isn't about foreclosure. Let's find this one here. 4 things needed to know about buying foreclosed homes and for sale and blah. So there's a bunch of articles. So I could take one of these articles here, okay? And I could go to ChatGPT and I'm going to do it live here on the screen. I'll give you guys a couple ways to use it and then one prompt that has changed the game for me when I'm using this for content. Okay, so I can say in here, I'm a real estate wholesaler, okay, in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, I want to create content that will rank well in Google when a motivated house seller searches online. Okay, then I can put something like, give me 5 article ideas to write that would be compelling for a motivated house seller. So you can use ChatGPT to generate ideas. I'm going to show you how to use it in conjunction with the content that we've already created. Okay. So ChatGPT right here in front of me is giving me ideas. The ultimate guide to selling your house fast in Detroit. Top 10 tips for maximizing your home's value in Detroit, Michigan. Avoiding common mistakes when selling your house in Detroit. Understanding Detroit's real estate market. Exploring alternative options. Wholesaling your Detroit property. So I'm going to grab one. Let's say it's this one. Avoiding common mistakes. Okay, cool. I'll write this. Excellent. I'll say I like number 3. Okay. Can you write an article outline for this topic? Can you write an article outline for this topic? Yeah, there we go. We'll start them. It's going to take number 3. It's going to write an article outline. Here's my introduction. Here's this. Here's this. Here's this. I can take this whole thing now. And here's one thing that I like to do, Brandon. I'm going to take this outline, dude. I'm going to go create a video with it. I'm going to go create a YouTube video now. I'm going to put this through our feature called Video Post, which turns your YouTube video into a written piece of content based off of your voice. And we've been testing AI with that too, to say, how can we add a layer of AI over the top of your transcription to make it a more robust article that's 1,500 words that Google's going to love? So I'm going to take this right here. I'm literally going to take my cell phone and I'm going to go, hey guys, this is Trevor with ABC Home Buyers. Now, if you're living in Detroit, Michigan, and you're looking to sell your house quickly, I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to help you avoid the common mistakes when selling your house in Detroit. Okay. And then start to talk about things. Mistake number one is overpricing or underpricing. One of the things that you're not sure about, and then I talk about that one, right? Mistake number two is repairs and improvements. If you're looking to sell the house in Detroit quickly and it needs a lot of repairs, it's probably going to be really hard to sell on the open market, and you might need to sell directly to a real estate investor like myself who can take those, right? So then you start to go down that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that video, upload it to YouTube, and then I'm going to go into our video post feature and create a piece of content that is basically our system saying, hey, let's take that video you just made. We're going to put the video at the top of this page for you. And we're going to transcribe it automatically. We're going to turn every word of that into a piece of content for you. That stuff Google loves. That's going to help you build more credibility, more trust than anyone else in your market. So I can create video post right here, copy and paste the URL in there. Okay.
Love it.
And then it's going to bring that in. But one way you can use the content here on ChatGPT is you could take this article. I could copy it. I could say, please rewrite this article so it's unique and it's 800 words or more. I could type that in, pop that in. Sometimes it kind of has a brain fart and it doesn't do it. Like just right there, it didn't do it. But oftentimes we'll be able to break it down and say, hey, let's do it by paragraph. Okay. So let's say I'm going to take the opening paragraph. Okay. I'm going to take this opening paragraph and have AI rewrite that. Can you rewrite this paragraph? And here's the cool thing, Brandon.
To double back just to that video, when you made the video off of the outline and then allowed the Carrot site to transcribe it for you, is it just like that straight transcription that Google loves, or are you also having ChatGPT kind of beef it up further?
Yes. What I'm doing right now is oftentimes, as long as that video, I like to say between 3 and 8 minutes if you're speaking the whole time, because the average person speaks 120 to 160 words a minute. And what Google needs to see to have a website or a page rank well is it's got to be at least 700 to 800 words. It's not going to rank well for a semi-competitive phrase at all unless it's 700 to 800 words. So, or if you take that 5-minute video, it's probably about 800 words, right? If you take an 8-minute video, it's probably about 1,200 words or so. So as long as it's around there, that's where we're seeing just the straight transcription can be really effective. Where we're starting to test AI is, let's say it's a 3-minute video and it only kicked out 500 words. We're then having AI go double the length, make it 1,000-word article, basically.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And then here you took just a straight copy from the suggested article and then you're breaking it down and having it rewrite it differently.
Yep. I just took that paragraph and had it rewrite it. And that's something that can be really effective. The challenge that comes up is there's AI content detectors, right? So you can take this and I'm going to take this and we'll just do a little test here. Okay. I'm going to take this, and this may bomb on me, Brandon, because AI is kind of wild right now, but I'm going to take this right here. We're going to analyze it and it's going to tell me, cool, it says 100% human generated content. Right. That was AI, right? The AI content detectors are going to keep getting smarter and smarter. So one thing that we found is when we're writing a big, long article and you submit it through here, let's say it shows 92% human generated. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, rewrite that so it is undetectable rewrite that so it's undetectable as AI content. Almost every time I've given that prompt, it takes it from 92% human to 99 or 100% human generated. You just tell AI to say, stop acting like AI and write it like a human.
That's amazing. I love that. So with that, just so people have a general idea about how often, how many articles, how much content should you be putting into your site on a weekly or monthly basis to really make it robust?
Yep. So you've got the core conversion pages like I was showing before. That's your home page, your about page, reviews, contact page. It's the stuff that's like the core credibility. And then next, you've got your what I call location pages. That's where if you do a Google search for homes for sale in Roseburg, Oregon, you're probably going to find Zillow at the top, right? But it's never Zillow's homepage. It's always a location page set up specifically for Roseburg or whatever. So you model that same thing on your Carrot site. You launch a location page for every city and state you would do business in. That's where the majority of your traffic is going to come from. Probably 90 to 95% of your leads are going to come from, or higher, are going to come from your homepage and your location pages. Okay. Where the blogs come in now is, especially if you're in a competitive market, and those location pages, I would just look at quarterly. I would say, okay, have I got all of them built out to represent all the areas I would buy a house in? Okay. Always have a state page that's optimized for like sell my house fast in Oregon. And then you have a city page for each city you do business in. Okay. So once you got that, you put those into like in Carrot, we have a Google ranking tracker. You can track your ranking for those keyword phrases and it'll tell you where you're ranking on a quarterly basis. Then as long as you've got all of your city pages built out, all you're doing is looking at that Carrot ranking tracker to see how am I doing on ranking these well. So you don't need to create any new content on your location pages as long as you've got a page for every location you do business in. And then you just track to see how they're doing SEO wise. And then follow our training and get them ranked higher. Now where the blogs come in is if you've nailed the core conversion pages, got your credibility on there, updated the content, you've got all the location pages you need, then I would start doing blogs. And that's going to help strengthen your authority and expertise in Google's eyes, which is really important right now. And I would do no more than 1 a week. It might even be like 2 a month. And what you're going to start with, and you can use our content as the basis. And like I said, we're driving some innovation right now for the future, is I would write down what are all the topics or categories a house seller needs to sell that I usually do business in. If your best deals are from probate, write divorce, write foreclosure. Let's say you've got 6 categories. I've got probate, inherited, divorce, foreclosure, relocation, whatever it is. You want to have about a 1,500 word, good, robust, helpful article on probate. You want to have a good, robust one on each one of those kind of situations. Okay. And then once you have those, then each one of those articles, you would basically have about 3 to 5 supporting articles in that topic. So I'll give you an example. Let's say your pillar page for the probate is how to sell my house I inherited in Detroit, Michigan. Okay. That's going to be your 1,500 word article. That's your topical article. Google's going to look at you as, man, they're kind of an expert on this. What's going to make it even better is now in that article, you might look at it and go, well, if I'm in Detroit, are people also searching for phrases around the probate laws when selling a house? Okay. And you can use our keyword explorer. We have a keyword explorer. You can type it in there to say, find keywords around probate or in selling an inherited house. It'll give you a bunch of ideas. So you just need to write 3 to 5 articles or have our system do it. Write 3 to 5 articles that support that probate topic. It could be a Michigan probate laws when selling a property. Write a 500, 800 word article on that and then link that up to your probate, your big 1,500 word probate article. Okay. Another one could be, can I sell my house with a real estate agent that's in probate? Okay. And link that one up. So you're going to have 3 to 5 topics that are diving deeper on that probate topic. They all link up to that big pillar article, and that pillar article links to all of them. Once you're done with that, you pop them into the Carrot ranking tracker and you just track to see how they're doing in Google and you modify. You don't have to create any more content in the probate niche anymore. So eventually you could be done posting content eventually, but then you're just adding new location pages as you go into new markets. You're adding new blogs or pillar pages as you want to tackle a new situation your sellers are going through that you want to have content for. And then you're just tracking the ranking of them. And then if you're not, let's say in the top 10 in Google, you go through our training and do the things to get that existing page you already have upgraded and get it ranked higher.
Man, this is freaking gold. It's like so many gems because this whole time, this is kind of a mind shift for me because this whole time I'm thinking like, gotta keep putting out content. Whereas what you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is really having really robust content and being kind of an expert and having real credibility around certain situations. And then as you kind of build it out for the different issues your sellers are facing, and then build it out in the different locations and markets, like you can get to a point where your page has like a good amount of content where it's not necessarily always throwing new articles at it.
Yep.
I'm assuming that you would still want to do some relevant content such as review or
100%.
Something current, event in your area or whatever that relates to real estate, but it's not this ongoing, marathon of content producing for the sake of producing content.
100%. It's actually today more effective in Google if you have, one really great resource on selling house and probate in Detroit, and then a few supporting that are good, than having 15 different articles on probate. They're actually going to compete now. And Google is going to devalue those. So you want to lock them into those topic clusters. And that's because of that EAT score, expertise, authority, and trust. They're saying, is the content on this site authoritative? Is it expert driven? Like, does it look like they know what they're doing? And can Google actually tell that it's useful and helpful to them? If you have a bunch of articles that are kind of competing, which that is what some of our members were doing inadvertently, then it isn't as helpful. Yeah. But like you were saying, then the ongoing content, that to me is the credibility content then. That's you've got a team and let's say, we've got a client down in Florida, Gabriel Garcia. And one thing that they're really great at is they love volunteering locally. And what they'll do is they just did their big trash cleanup thing in one of the neighborhoods that they flip houses in. They're all wearing their branded gear. They're going out there, picking up tons of trash, bunch of pictures, volunteering. They'll do a blog post on that, right? March 2023 Volunteer Day for the cash home buyers. Tell about that. Share that on social media. If your sellers see that, they're going to, man, this is like a cool company to work with. Or you just hired a new person or a testimonial. Do a breakdown, right? So you basically do like the title of a testimonial video. I would do a video when you can, but if not, do a written. It could be something like this. It's like Detroit house seller case study. Marsha M sold her house in 10 days in probate or whatever it is. Okay. You have her video. I would just do video posts with those. Make them easy. Record the 6-minute video of Marsha talking about it. You interviewing her and then you upload that to YouTube and then put it into our video post system, which automatically takes the URL, makes it an article, sends you an email 2 hours later and says your article's done. Mm-hmm. And then you can log in, edit it, do whatever you want, but you don't even have to edit that because it's good, robust content already.
Great stuff. Look, I know we wanted to talk about a few different things. I'm going to have you back, man, because we wanted to get into the entrepreneur freedom formula, but this is such good stuff that I want to respect your time and make sure that, we get a few questions answered and then get onto the lightning round. Just some really kind of rapid fire. I wanted to dispel a few myths that I had adding the website to your direct mail piece or your offer. At one point, they said, the powers that be, folks say, hey, don't put it on your direct mail piece, for instance, because seller picks that up out the mail and they see a website, they might get sidetracked, go to the online and end up at somebody else's page. So keep it off your direct mail. Is that changing? Is that changing with the times and the market?
It's a good question. I'll give you my opinion on it, backed by the data that I have, but there's other opinions too. I think usually, Brandon, that opinion came because most websites are crappy. Okay. So if you're sending people to a crappy website, then yes, that's probably going to be a detractor for you. They're going to go there. They're going to go, man, there's not a whole lot on here. It's going to lower the credibility in their minds. And then they're going to go search for others, right? So, but if you do it right, it's actually a major attractor and it can give you the advantage. I'll give you an example. We had part of our property, we had a ton of rain 5-6 years ago. Part of our property, the hill started to slide down and it was getting close to where we were concerned about our deck and foundation issues and whatever. Okay. We have 4 or 5 foundation companies in town and a couple from out of town. I go to Google and type up foundation repair, Roseburg, Oregon. Okay. I found a website, but I also knew somebody before that who was in the business. So, and I got a referral from somebody. I call them up. They come out there. Amazing. Long story short, the company that I ended up going with was like the third company that I met with, but they're the first company that I actually saw their website and their marketing materials. Their credibility was 10 times higher than any other companies that I saw because I go on their website and they show their methods, all these pictures of before and afters. They show their guarantee. This is guaranteed for 100 years. Even after you sell the property, we're going to guarantee it for 100 years, right? It shows the testimonials. It shows the team. It shows like when I talked to the person, they literally said, Mark is going to show up to your house. You're going to get an email and a call from Mark later today. I get an automated email from Mark. It looks like it was not automated. It shows Mark's picture. He's like, hey, this is me. I'm going to be showing up to your house tomorrow. All the other ones, they were just working over the phone. Dude, I got 3 quotes. They were the third one to get me the quote. I was never going to accept one of the first 2 quotes without hearing what their quote was going to be because of what their website did.
Nice.
Okay. So when we do it correctly, we make our website a credibility hub. When they get in there, dude, you have your Facebook pixel. You follow them back over to Facebook with testimonials. You have tons of reviews on your site. You have a good about page, good videos. It's clear what you do. They're not going to work with somebody else if they feel a connection to you. They'll even accept your offer if it's a lower offer. So yes, don't include your website on your direct mail if your website's crappy.
All right.
But do it as an advantage if you follow the training that we have.
Love it. The last other kind of myth buster is, does traffic drive your website ranking? So I had a buddy that said, hey, we got a great buyer site. We have a big buyers list. When we send our deals out, we have it split to seller site, buyer site. But there's so many people visiting the buyer site we should merge them and have the seller and the buyer site together. Is that, something that would be effective, or do you prefer specialization in the type of site for that type of lead?
Good question. So as far as does traffic volume driver dictate search ranking, I haven't found any indicators that traffic volume as a metric by itself will dictate that, because you can game traffic volume, right? Like I can go to Fiverr.com and I can buy 1 million clicks tomorrow for probably like $20. And so Google's smart enough to recognize when there was a spike and when it's crappy traffic volume. Now, here's where there is some shred of truth to that. Okay. So let's say I'm ranked number 5 in Google, and in Google Search Console, I suggest everybody go to Google and type up Google Search Console and get that little piece of code put on your Carrot site that then gives you access to more data from Google. Like Google will now tell you exactly which search phrases you're actually getting traffic from. We can't get that data. Like Google you can only get it in Google Search Console. It'll tell you what your average search engine ranking for certain keyword phrases are, and it'll tell you this very important metric, which is your click-through rate. So just like when we're doing ads on Facebook or Google Ads, you always have a click-through rate, right? A CTR. A CTR is very important because if you're ranked number 5 in Google and you're actually getting more of that traffic from that Google search than the number 4 result because your click-through rate's higher. Let's say your click-through rate is 1.8 and the click-through rate on the one above it is 0.2. Over time, they're going to go, people are actually clicking the one below it a lot more and they're staying on the site. It must be a better quality site. We're going to bring it up. So in that respect, yes, traffic volume in that respect can get you ranked higher, but it's as a factor of, it seems like user behavior is showing that this one's a higher quality website in the search result. Yep. So now talking about your question of the 2 sites, it really depends what your strategy is. If you're a retail real estate agent, I still suggest people should always have the buyer seller on the same site, because a retail buyer is a retail seller. They're just like 6 months apart, right? But a wholesale seller, so motivated seller, is very rarely a cash buyer also. They're completely different avatars. And so my rule of thumb is you only mash sites together if your avatar is the same. And if the avatar is different, you can actually make the site less effective. And it might be more confusing to Google, and you might lose some of your search rankings, because now you're marketing to completely different avatars that is not seen as a real connection, and it's not going to convert as well. Because let's say they go to your about page or your reviews page. What are the reviews going to be about? Is it for the sellers or is it for the buyers? They're different avatars, right? So I always say, if you're going after motivated house sellers, the off market motivated versus your cash buyers, keep them separate. Now you can link up. Like Tyler Ford, one of our clients out of Tucson, Arizona, crushes it in Tucson. He does about 3 to 5 deals a month just from his Carrot site online, no paid ads. And what he does is he's building a wholesale buyers list on his motivated seller site, where he has a link there and he has a page that's ranking well, but then he also links up to his buyer site and vice versa. So you can do that.
Love it. Good stuff. Well, look, I'm going to save this as the end of our part 1. And look, we usually go through the lightning round, but we got into so much great information that as long as you promise to come back, I'll save the lightning round for part 2, because we want to get into the other pieces around entrepreneur of the freedom formula and leveraging your time and making sure that this business is a servant to you versus the other way around. I'll leave you with this, Trevor, just one piece of advice for someone, and you gave us a bunch, but the best piece of advice that you have for someone looking to optimize their close ratio via online marketing. Just give us one final piece of advice.
Be transparent. I think that's what your end consumer is looking for. They're looking for someone they can trust. They want to know what your process is. They want to not be ripped off. That's why Open Door has done well acquiring properties. They say, here's what you're going to pay. Then they got sued because they did it wrong. But so be really transparent and just don't hide behind a website. Don't hide behind your phone. Realize this is a human business and people want to work with humans.
Love it. Good stuff. Well, of course, folks can find you at Carrot.com, right? You want to go and check that out. But where do you want folks to follow you as far as, social, what you have going on or what the company has going on?
Dude, yeah, hit me up on IG, Trevor.Mauch. That's Mauch. I post all the behind the scenes stuff of running an 8-figure company and investing in real estate and a bunch of other stuff, or my podcast. So I talk about a lot of the mindset stuff or business stuff every Thursday on what I call my truck talks. I just record them on my drive home on my cell phone. Then we interview amazing people like yourself on the Tuesday episodes. That's the Carrot Cast. Carrot, like the vegetable, cast, carrotcast.com.
Love it. Good stuff. Guys, and while you're at it, head over to sendmoreoffers.com. There's nothing for sale, just a bunch of great information from great guests, just like this, show notes, etc. You can even connect with me there at sendmoreoffers.com. This has been great, Trevor. I can't even name all the stuff that we went through, but guys, it was so much. Make sure that you also check us out. You can find us at sendmoreoffers.com, the YouTube and Instagram for Send More Offers, and you will get all of the video content as well. I appreciate you, Trevor. Until next time, guys, send more offers, do more deals. Peace. Thanks, Trevor.
Love it. Hey, thank you, Brandon.
I know.
That's all for this episode of the Send More Offers Real Estate Show with Brandon Barnes. But we know you're craving more knowledge to get yourself ready for that next deal. To schedule a call with Brandon to learn more about how to do deals consistently without seller appointments in a repeatable way, be sure to visit us at sendmoreoffers.com. And be sure to tune in for the next episode of the Send More Offers Real Estate Show.